Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got ourselves a 9-worker start mod on the new balance patch that has just come out of the NA server. Special, Pro Terran from Mexico, Gerald, Pro Protoss from Poland. Let's see what the hell goes on. I have no idea what to expect. I've played a few games on the 8 and 9 worker start against Skillers just now, and they were very fun games where both of us clearly did not actually know what we were doing. He made a lot of mistakes, yet every game that I got ahead, which was quite a few of them, because I did feel a little comfortable on that old balance patch as I get my observing settings here, he always came back and still beat me with his far superior skill and organization and stuff. Now, this is a 9-worker start. You're going to notice they both start at 9 out of 13 supply. We have made these supply buildings give you 2 less supply, which does, as a side effect, make your expansions pay off a little bit less. So what that means is every time you build an expansion, you're getting 13 rather than 15 supply. If we go down to like 7 or 8 workers, we could even make it as little as like 11 supply per command centers and nexus, which would mean every expansion would be giving you even less of that bonus value. Now, obviously, I've been talking about, you guys have seen my videos about why we might want to lower the worker count again. I think one of the big things we could do if we don't change the worker count to achieve some of the same goals of not just seeing everyone rush 3, 4, 5 base every game is making expansions cost a little bit more or take a bit longer to build or something like that. And I think that's really, really awesome. I think that can be absolutely massive. So that's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out. Now, it's going to be a double gas opening here for Special, and not a big surprise, right? We expect Special to play aggressive, cheesy proxies in his opponent's face from start to finish. Now, he's taken the second gas so early, but he's not actually put in his first gas. Special, I think, realizing, oh, wait a second, I don't know if I have enough minerals to even do this build exactly the way I want to. He's not going to be able to build a Reaper straight away. Special, has he played StarCraft in the last 3 months, guys? 4 months. He hasn't really had many tournaments to play for. Okay, he was waiting for the gas for the Reaper. He does start it up. I think Geralt's going to be a bit more informed than him. On the other hand, Gerald is a very standard modern player who loves to mass expand every game. I think this sort of slower worker start is going to favor Special because he's aggressive, he's somewhat fluid, he's very adaptive to lots of weird situations, and he's very creative. So I think it's going to be a better matchup for Special in that regard. On the other hand, I don't know how much Special's practiced. I think Geralt should be better mechanically, a little tighter with his execution of the basics. The other fun thing here, guys, that we're looking at, because I'm not looking to see one series and, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. There's ups and downs to every change in a strategy game, and all they do is they nudge things in different directions. One of the big things we're going to see in any tests of something drastic like changing the starting work count is the players don't know the builds anymore. The early game will not be refined. The players are going to have to spend a lot more time thinking about the basics, looking at the supply count, making sure they don't get supply blocked, starting gases at different times, not knowing exactly when to do everything because they haven't done it, 500 or 1,000 times. And in general, this does achieve the goal always of just shaking it up. So we can expect more varied, crazier games that are a little bit less predictable, simply due to the fact that this, of course, changes things and does to a certain extent diminish the player's practice. Nice harassment for Special. Second Reaper coming in. He's going for a command center and a Hellion behind this. And Geralt making some doo-doos, but he does at least get the block. Oh my gosh. Dude, Geralt really messing up his micro. Obviously, Special has a little bit of a micro advantage because we are playing on the US Central server. Geralt's from Poland. US East and Central, I think, are both the exact same server these days, unfortunately. Otherwise, we could go US East. I could host US East next turn, but I think it hosts on the exact same server. It's just called a different name these days. Blizzard skimping out on those server costs. What can I say, guys? The Reaper Hellion does come in looking for even more damage. This is what I was saying. Special's going to love the chaos. He's going to love trying to cause damage. But remember, his command center is so late behind this. I don't think this necessarily puts him miles ahead. Like, oh, he gets one more. That's frustrating for Geralt. But Geralt should be able to kill him now. Sentry does finish him off. All right, guys, so we've got a Twilight Council coming in. Looks like a blink opening for Geralt, who's going to scout. And Special over here with a medevac as well, Widowmine and Marines. Now, I actually wanted to do more 8 workers starting show matches, guys. I really think 7 or 8 workers, you see a much more drastic difference than just, like, if you go to, like, 9 workers, I think it shakes up the meta by messing up the builds. I think it does slow the pace down a little, but not in such a crazy amount. I want to test that more. The reason we're not testing that today, we'll be testing that probably tomorrow and the day after, is just that the mod that we created didn't work correctly. It doesn't have the supply changed for whatever reason. I think that was just a slight problem with the version we put on NA. So we'll have that fixed for tomorrow, no doubt. and we can play some 8 worker show matches. Because I really think the lower you go, the more drastic a difference you get. And I think when testing a change like this, we should... I mean, I also should do some 6 worker show matches today as well. So I'll try to host some of those today and tomorrow to see the differences inherent. And, you know, we can kind of get a feel for it. Quick third Nexus, man. While going up to 3 gateways. Third gateway isn't done yet, though. Widow Mind Drop does have to pull back for special. All right, Liberator's on the way, as well as the Siege Tank. Marines are building. Do you need to reduce Chrono Boost energy? I don't think so. I don't really see why we would need to reduce Chrono Boost energy or anything like that, guys. I know a lot of people have said, oh, don't you need to change the macro mechanics? I don't think so. I think we could. We could go back to the more explosive macro mechanics of Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty. But I don't think we need to. I think the reason those mechanics all got scaled down a little bit in Legacy is because the workers started so fast that there was way too many like crazy powerful cheeses and explosive things. But yeah. In Legacy, they made tech cheaper. Do we want that as well? I don't know what tech they made cheaper. You'd need to explain that for me, guys. Liberator does get a fair bit of damage here, guys. Geralt's really struggling, dude. He's trying to just play this very defensive style, which is always going to be a big disadvantage, I feel like, when you're playing on any new balance. But especially against someone like Special, who's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. That Marine Tank's going to arrive here now as well. Here we go, medevac that. Marine Tank trying to hang out. Stalker's coming forward. The Marines do manage to push them back. Only one Marine going down. Pretty good play here. Liberator wants to come back in. Geralt should be aware of this. And it looks like he may be losing that third base. Remember, guys, he does not have overcharge on this patch. Stalkers will take care of the Liberator. Liberator takes out one of the Stalkers and a few more probes. And, of course, we're not going to have those worker-killed pop-ups because we can only play one mod at a time, for those wondering. And we'll see what goes on here. Stalkers coming forward. Tanks starting to shuffle forward as well. Special's Liberator. Another one comes in. Oh, Special throwing the kitchen sink at Geralt. And like I said, Special's an aggressive player. Loves his proxies. Loves to throw the kitchen sink at his opponent. You shake up balance, it's always going to favor him a fair bit. Whereas a guy like Geralt, who loves to play the same thing over and over and play the late game, is going to be struggling on this patch because his way of adapting and playing it is always going to be to play defensive and look for those reps. And, you know, I think a player who's a bit more diverse in their openings like Special is going to get a bit of an edge here. Takes out the third. He's got stim shields, 4th and 5th barracks on the way. He's going to build his 3rd command center on location as well. He does misplace it. You know, maybe Special's making a few small mistakes here and there. But I think overall, his kind of style is just so effective and hard to deal with. Stalker's looking for the hunt down. Medevac's going to unload successfully. And hide in that corner for now. Ooh. Apparently they made Dark Shrine a lot cheaper in Legacy of the Void. Okay. I don't know if there was any other examples of that. But if there is, yeah, let us know. That's really interesting. I don't think we'd change any balance. I think we'd literally leave everything the same. Just change the worker count. And then change things as we want to, right? I think if you change too many things at once, it's kind of unnecessary. Alright, Marine Marauder hanging out at the 3rd. This looks like game over. I think Geralt's done for in game 1, guys. I'll try to just hypecast the next few games and really focus on the gameplay rather than reading chat. I'm going to keep getting distracted a little bit because chat's just going to be like, but there's going to be hour-long games. I hate hour-long games. And it's like, that's a Swarm host problem. That was never a 6-worker start problem. Well, every game length was on average 30% longer. I think they were a little longer. I do agree that the games were a little longer. But got to remember part of that was the game timer as well, which a lot of people are saying, you know, every game didn't end until half an hour. It's definitely not true back then. But yeah, I don't think we should go back to 6 workers because I do think it's a bit too slow and too boring. I do think it'd be such a drastic downshift in pace. I don't think it's realistic at all. I think most people would just be like, nah, bit too slow. There's just no army, man. Storm's not ready. Geralt's getting overrun in game 1. And I really think you're going to need to commit a bit more to units and not play such a standard greedy style, the lower the worker count, especially when you're just adjusting the builds. We'll see how we go, though. It's a 9-worker start. It's kind of close to 12-worker start. I would say it's way closer to 9 is to 12 than it is towards 6. That might sound counterintuitive, but we'll explain that more as we watch these games. All right, guys, going into game 2. Gerald in the bottom left there after getting hammered in game 1, and Special in the top right side of the map is going to send a worker across at the very start. Now, you normally don't need to send a worker across so early with these lower worker starts, but he wants to build this like in behind the natural. Yeah, he's going to build it in the natural. That's why he sent it so early. Wow. So he's going to go for a 13 proxy barracks behind the natural of Gerald. Special, you cheeky bugger. And remember, if you want to be safer, because cheeses will be stronger the lower the worker count gets, you want to get in there and actually... Oh, scout earlier to make sure you're not getting cheesed. You know what he's going to do, guys? He's going to let the barracks get a bit more finished, and then he'll bring the probe in to kill it. He wants Special to commit a little bit more, and now go in. You don't want to wait too long, because otherwise you might not kill him. Geralt, he's going to wait for the second... He's waiting for Special to sink as much time and money into this as possible. Has he left it too late? Has he left it too late? If that SCV gets some lucky movements and he finishes the barracks, Geralt's going to regret being greedy. No, it's still in range. It's still in range. And he does cancel it. Perfectly judged by Geralt. Shuts it down. And now he might even go Nexus before Cybercore. The best play right now is go Nexus before Core, because you don't even have a gas. I think if he went Nexus there, because you know the barracks is so delayed, you get further ahead. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a missed opportunity for Geralt, guys. Not being as familiar with this, he's like, no, got to get my Cybercore, got to get my gas. These are the things you do. Imagine if he went a Nexus there. Like, you are so far ahead. On the other side, I'm really happy, guys. Do you know why I'm so happy? Because I think if Geralt got that far ahead, this is game over. Potentially. Right? That's a huge commitment. But because he doesn't fully take advantage economically, as long as Special builds his command center on the high ground, I think he can get back in this. But we'll see how we go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if we have a 6-worker change that changes the supply count of the command centers. If you guys who are watching live know a map maker or have a map maker friend who's willing to go and edit some mods really quickly, let me know. And or just ask them to and see if they can do it. Because it's very easy to just change the starting workers according to OmniSkeptic. But you've also got to change the command center, Nexus, and supply. And I got OmniSkeptic to do this for the 9-worker change, but it looks like it didn't go through on the 8 and 6 worker ones, unfortunately. So, and he's on a road trip right now. He's like on a long drive somewhere. So I'm like, damn it, I won't be able to get in touch with him until later today. Ooh, probe goes down, very nice. Zealot and Stalker slowly getting wounded by the Reaper. Like I said, as long as you go command center high ground, I think you're okay. Stalker could cause some issues, though. Remember, Stalkers do build faster as well, so there's a second Stalker coming out as well. Oh, he takes hit from the Zealot. Got to be careful there, Special. Special's going to run away with that Reaper. He's going to start building himself a Widow Mine to help defend the high ground. And then Marines will be coming out as well. Nexus finally coming up. Feels like these expansions do come up a fair bit slower. Even here, I thought actually 9-worker change would be so close to 12. But, you know, it is slowing down the pace a little bit. I quite like it. Zealot taking some damage there, but he does protect the Zealot. Does Geralt. Very nice. Ooh. Here we go. Nice Widowmine repair there, but the Zealot does take the Widowmine shot, which is really unfortunate for Special. So great job by Geralt there to take advantage, and it looks like Geralt really pressuring hard. He's going to get rid of that. Oh, man. Another Widowmine's going to come out here, and it will die, the first one, but the second one does burrow. Doesn't want to lose a Stalker, so the Marines in the Widowmine will hold the high ground. Special now trying to build a starport, trying to recover, and Geralt is up 7 workers on that natural, chrono boosting those probes. But Stalker walks right past the Reaper. Geralt, hello, got to wake up there, buddy. Good micro on his probes, though, so he shouldn't be losing too much more. Ooh. Okay, while we've got a bit of downtime, we can answer questions in the chat. Yesterday, I had a really strong argument against less workers. With less workers, each Reaper and Oracle harassment actually hurts more. A Reaper can easily kill 2 to 4 workers, and an Oracle will randomly kill 7. The game is then just over. I think reducing supply from bases would be the way better change. I think if you lose 2 to 4 workers to a Reaper, you kind of shut the bed a little bit. So you're going to have to realize that Reaper does come in a little bit later as well. And don't get me wrong, like, you're correct. It will amplify that sort of damage. And that's one of the dangers. So one of the great things about the 12 worker start is that it's so consistently... And all the changes we've done have removed all the things that just kill you in StarCraft 2. So if we wanted to look at things in a broad spectrum, what have we done to StarCraft 2 over the last 8 years? We've made it so consistent, so smooth, so balanced. And because of that, you know, there's, you know, less strategies that are good. And it's the thing is, so it's not that it's bad that we've done that, right? Because there's so many benefits we've got from the 12 worker start and getting rid of all the bullshit all-ins and making scouting better over the years again and again and again. But it's just one of those weird things where we kind of look at it at this point and go, maybe we've gone a little bit too far. And I think you're right. Maybe rather than workers, we could just make expansions cost more, make them give less supply, maybe make them take a bit longer to build. We can also, you know, vary up the maps to shake up the balance so there's not just one path to victory. There's a lot of cool things we can do, and that's why I really just want to look at these games, and I'll keep an eye on that. Is there a few more moments where some sort of opening harassment is a bit more game deciding? And I think it's okay if there is. I don't mind if there's the occasional one-punch knockout. For me, is it disappointing when I pay to watch an MMA card and I'm really excited for the big heavyweight main event and it's over in 6 seconds because one guy punches the other guy in the face? Yes, that's also part of what makes it exciting, is the fact that that can happen. Anyway, guys, once again, Gerald way too greedy, rushing a third base. You can't just be rushing third base every game, Gerald, or can you? No, those tanks are in a good position. If he doesn't get the second Immortal out, I think he's screwed. And that's the only pylon powering it. Oh, Gerald. He's so focused on rushing thirds. But I don't think you can just keep rushing third bases, man. I think you've got to be a little bit more particular. And I think that's what Gerald's learning here, is you can't just take a third every game. Then again, hold that thought. Yes, you can. Sorry, guys, I didn't see that Stalker flank. He's got it. He's got the cleanup. Repowers the Robo Stalkers from the flank. Pull back the weak Stalkers. If he saves every Stalker, it's game over. Save all the Stalkers, save all the Stalkers. I mean, it's game over anyway. Special's down 20 workers. I think that was, like, very dangerous there. But with the advantage he had, we could see taking the third a bit more dangerous on this patch. Well, not patch. What do I call this? This mod. Stalker's going down to that tank. Special's getting more damage than I thought he would. But I think with 2 Immortals on the left, this is done, you know. Special has to pick up and leave. He's looking for more damage, but he has to pick up. He's going to try and hang around. He's pulled the boys, and he is done for. Ooh. Nice comeback for Geralt there after a rough game 1. Beautiful job scouting for that barracks was huge, guys. That gamble, I think, could have paid off way bigger for Special if he got away with it. But the fact that Geralt scouted for it, way more high impact. And I think this is one of those things where if you have too often this proxy barracks goes unscouted, kills 5 probes and wins the game, it's lame. But also if it's not a good option at all, it's bad. So just to remind you guys, when I'm talking about stuff like do we want to see proxy barracks every game? No. Do we want to see it be the best thing in the world? No. I think we just want these sort of builds to be maybe a little bit better, if that makes sense. I think there should be a little more payoff. So I think what I'm talking about is actually incredibly conservative to people who are just like, oh, just 6 workers, go back to Heart of the Swarm, go back to Wings of Liberty balance. Literally, I'm talking about, like, I want more moments like this where it's like, damn, Geralt checking there is so smart. He knows his opponent, and he gets a big payoff for this. If he didn't scout for it and didn't scout early at all, there'd be a big payoff for Special, or at least a bigger payoff than in the 12 worker start. I don't know. This was kind of cool. I do like seeing the variance, and I do think it'll create more one-sided games no matter what. I think anything you do to create more variance in StarCraft strategy is always going to have a few more one-sided games, and you're less consistently going to get to 3 bases, 4 bases, big multitasking macro war. And for me, that's a price I'm willing to pay, is a little bit less of that consistency for a bit more variety. But I think for everyone, it's going to be a little personal where that line lies. So I just want you guys to understand what I'm talking about and the sort of trade-offs that I'm aware of while I'm casting this series. All right, guys, we're going to go game 3, bottom left, Geralt, top right for Special. A few people are asking, how does tech hit earlier in an earlier worker start? Well, basically what the difference is that where is your economy when the tech kicks in? So one of the big things you guys want to pay attention to is basically how much economy do you have by the time the tech kicks in. If you start with 12 workers, by the time your Spire finishes, your opponent often is on 3 bases, fully saturated, 65 workers, whereas with the old 6 worker start, we'd often see Mutas hit the field when the opponent's only on 30 or 35 or 40 workers. And it would force a bigger response because they don't have as much money to deal with it. So even though build time is the same across Wings, Liberty, and Heart of the Swarm over to the Legacy of the Void 12 worker start, because your economy starts bigger and it's exponentially growing and scaling and you're expanding so fast, you have so much more money that tech isn't as impactful. Now, the downside of the 6 worker start, because the moment I've started this discussion, my good friend Drogo, Tio, you guys know Petite Drogo, messaged me and he's like, I remember 6 worker start. He's like, do you know, like, yes, tech kicked in earlier. And he was like, you realize it outpaced economy so badly though, right? It was the problem was in the opposite direction. He's like, he was saying the number of times you would die because there'd be some tech that your opponent went to before you could even possibly scout it, and like your build just lost to their build. Like build order losses were a way bigger thing in the 6-worker start. You know, there was way more crazy gambles, and it was frustrating. Like there was too many times you just lose to something stupid. And I was like, you know what? I remember that as well. Like you're totally right. And that's why I do think like, you know, this is why I'm talking about not 6 workers, but 8 or 9 workers or something like this, and testing this out. Because like, it's so fascinating, the ups and downs. And a lot of people have been angry at me saying like, I can't believe you're trying to get this in and barrack for this in this patch. I don't think this is going to get into this patch. I don't think it'll get into any patch. I'd like it to potentially get into a future patch. This patch just went live, by the way, guys. I knew the discussion was over because there hadn't been any updates on the new patch at all. Thank you so much, CT Carnage, for helping us fund these show matches. That really appreciate the massive $100, mate. We're giving $75 to these guys, almost evenly split. $5 extra for the winner of this show match, this best of 5. But appreciate you guys helping me keep that going. So this, guys, is an old school engineering bay. It's meant to reduce Geralt's mining efficiency. TY used to do this a fair bit. It's worth it if you are going to be floating minerals anyway during this part of your build. I would say it's one of the things that is not super good. It also gives you scouting to a certain extent, and if you do like a drop later and they A move, their units might get distracted attacking it or something. But it's definitely a very old school thing. Sometimes they just get distracted on the eBay long enough your Hellions can drive in. Special basically trying to just disrupt Geralt, throw him off a little bit, and see what he can do. Now, like I said, I think 7, 8, 6 workers, I want to try all those to see the differences, because I think you're going to see such a difference compared to this, whereas this is looking like a slightly slowed down version of the current 12 worker start here on 9 workers. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, but I'm so curious to like compare this once I do some extra matches. Here come the Hellions. Stalker's moving out. Geralt. Okay, he's going to stop and attack those Hellions, but the Hellions going to drive into that main base. Let's see how good the probe micro is, because Warp Gate ain't done yet, guys. He does stop to shoot that probe. Not the best choice, in my opinion. Oh, Special. Where's the micro? Where's that micro? He gets 2 probes. He's going to kill a 3rd, maybe a 4th. Okay, he gets 4 probes. 4 probes, 5 probes in total, because I think he killed one earlier. Not too bad. Ah, the Adept came in. That's why he was distracted. He loses only 1 SCV, though. Dude, not every day you see... Oh, he lost 2 Marines as well. So he loses 2 Marines and an SCV to an Adept. Good micro there from Geralt to get that done. And look at this, dude. These Hellions are stacking up the damage now. Line them up. Line them up. Oh, very nice. That's up to 10 workers killed. And behind it, Special's going 3 racks before Starport. So he's planning a big 2-base push. This is awesome. All right, Hellion's going to get taken down as well. Stim seems like a crazy drug, like Ritalin or some other type of amphetamine. It overclocks you for health. Oh, it's amphetamine? Aren't amphetamines the one that make you derp out? Or am I getting my drug names confused? It's definitely a hyperstimulate. I imagine it's just like super cocaine, essentially. Or meth. Probably meth, sorry. I think meth is, yeah, it's probably meth. Could be PCP, maybe you don't feel pain when you're on it as well. I have ADHD, they give me amphetamines. Oh, is Ritalin an amphetamine, really? I guess Ritalin is like speed, basically, isn't it? It's the one where if you take it and you don't have ADHD, you can't sleep for like 2 days. Yeah, that stuff's crazy. Yeah, it affects different people's brain chemistry very differently. That's a tough one. All right, guys, this is going to be a big stim bio push out. No starport yet, so he's doing like a delayed 3 racks off this Hellion opening. Geralt is going 3rd base, but also charge and 4 gateways. Okay, this is really interesting. So he's going to go just 3 gas, kind of charge Archon by the looks of it. I don't think we're going to see Storm from Geralt. I think we're just seeing charge Archon. Ooh. Oh, okay, this is really interesting. This is so interesting. Oh, get out. Okay, Stalker's blinked back. Nice move. Bunker's salvaged. Starport is on the way, so it's not like it's just, you know, Marine Marauder and nothing else. But these Stalkers getting some good damage. Special pulls back the wrong Marauder, unfortunately. Does let that one get caught out. And this has been really good map control for Geralt. Look at him just wearing these units down, picking off Marines. Almost loses a Stalker, but getting himself 2 more Marines there. Super worth it. Storm's on the way. Oh, I did not expect him to make Storm. 4 gateways up. We've got, you know, an extra 5th and 6th one about to finish. I think he can defend this with charge if he can get up to like 7 zealots. Already on 4 or 5, charge about to finish. This is a crazy push for Special, guys. For Special to push in like this is insane, in my opinion. He's going to try and focus the Stalkers down. The Zealots don't quite have charge. Gerald fighting just a few seconds too early. Oh my god, a Special just found like that narrow window to get the damage done. It looks like he may have. That being said, more Zealots warping in. That's going to be an issue. Probes going down in the bottom right side of our screen there. Marauders are going to die to those Zealots. And now, you know, you're going to get chased down unless you stim all the way home. Special, going to try and focus the Zealots down. He goes for a Stalker, but... those Marines getting cleaned up. The tail end of the fight, very efficient for Gerald. Does kill the Stalker with his last shot. These couple of probes go back. Units lost are very even on both sides, slightly in the favor of Special, as he now has his first 2 medevacs out. He's going to go drop the main. Not a bad call at all, because he's cleaned up the Stalkers, he's cleaned up the map vision, and I do think Gerald needs to start pumping observers, anything to get some vision on the map. 4th and 5th barracks are already building out on Special, staying very 2-base heavy as he drops a 3rd command center. Zealot, High Templar, Immortal moving forward over there. Stalker moving to that left side. The medevac's going towards the main base. Ooh, okie dokie. This is going to be good. Those Stalkers need to pull back. The Prism and the Stalker's hanging out. No, Geralt loses a Stalker and a Prism. Probes getting caught in Artosis. Artosis! Oh, Artosis gets sniped there. Goes down. This is what happens when you move to Canada away from Tasteless. You don't have your best buddy watching your back, and all of your gateways get depowered. Extra pylon does go down there as well. 3rd base is saturated, though, for Geralt. He does need a new pylon to power that the battery on that base. 5 barracks pumping away. Extra medevac's going to join up. Special getting ready to redrop that main base. I think he's decided, let's just keep hitting it. I truly feel observers are what Geralt needs so desperately right now, guys. Playing without observers right now seems insane to me. I get he has a watchtower. He needs to make a prism for the High Templar. But playing without them is just crazy, and this quad drop is just going to go straight back in the main. Oh, no. Oh, he gets the full medevac. Full medevac goes down. Special, slow on the unload. Big mistake there for him. High Templars just warped in. Storm. He could use energy recharge. He doesn't use the energy recharge there, guys. He could have energy recharged and stormed that army, but he didn't do it. A slight mistake there for Geralt. He does unload the Stormy boys, drops the Storm there, and does feedback some stuff as well. Thank you so much for the big 1,000 biddies. Thank you, gang, for the support. Watch out for those Widow Mines. Geralt's on the back foot. Special looks like he's got an opening. No medevacs on the front, though. He does have to be a little cautious here as the drop goes back in the main base. Zealots are there, though. Special, remember, hasn't been playing a lot, hasn't played on these new maps at all. So I'm surprised at how well he's multitasking and kind of flowing with the gameplay. I think there's a reason he's been so aggressive, because he realizes playing defensive on a map you don't have any experience on is just always going to be such a nightmare. Gets himself 2 Zealots, picks up, rotates the medevacs, downloads in this direction. Sorry, goes down towards the 3rd is what I was trying to say there, and does do okay. But man, that 1 observer on 10 hit points, that observer 10 hit point buff actually keeping Geralt alive in this game. If you didn't have that observer, these Widow Mines would be so much more annoying to deal with. Marauder's getting cleaned up. He does get 1 more Stalker. 1 Marauder escapes. Special, though, has 3 bases saturated, and he's in a solid position because now he's got 5 barracks still pumping. Medevacs, Vikings out. Maybe could use... Oh, no, he's got 4 medevacs at home, 1 on the other side of the map. He's got a good medevac count. He's just got to defend the Storm. If he can defend this next attack and being up, you know, a little bit in army supply, I think he should be able to. He should be okay, but oh my god, he's in trouble. Massively clumped up. Special with a big mistake on his army movement. He needs time to heal. He loses a lot of Marines. His Marauders are still alive. He's got to be careful, though. Oh, one of those Widow Mines gets popped by the rock tower, the cooling tower coming down. Observer does get taken out by the scan, and the Vikings, though. Dude, this is actually really exciting. Special here, 11 minutes, 130 supply. Gerald at 111. And this is kind of cool. Looking at this game right now, this feels like very much similar to modern StarCraft 2 in very many ways. Just a slightly different early game pacing that kind of messes up the timings. It's so funny because, yeah, I don't know. I guess I expected the flow to be a little more different with 9 workers than it is. But it's getting to a similar position. It's just a little bit, it's just taking the explosive edge off of that growth. Special is, of course, miles ahead, guys. 4th base is only halfway done. No gases on the 3rd. You know, it's a 3-gas style. Only now is the Forges starting to build as well. And, I mean, Special's upgrades aren't amazing, but as he starts +2 attack, of course, they're heading in that direction. Zealot multi-prong might be something Special struggles with. If you're a little out of practice as a Terran... Oh, look at that Storm ambush on the front. Worth it. Good Storm of the medevacs and the bio. But this double drop could really upset Geralt. Geralt's looking to send Zealots in from the right, Zealots from the left. But it's his main base that gets dropped. Oh, quick warp in, though. This Special, get out. Run. He's going to unload. That's crazy. He's going to try and unload and trade with these Zealots and Stalkers. I guess not the worst move there. Doesn't have a lot of room to kite, though, is one of the problems. I like that he pulls the Marines back, lets the Marauders do the tanking. One medevac goes down at the same time. Zealot's coming on that side. Zealot's coming on that side. Dude, Special handling things. Oh my god. It's time to recall, I think. It might be time to recall. Gerald getting cleaned up on every different side. I mean, Special had an advantage in this game with the single upgrade advantage and cleaning up those Zealots on the other side of the map so flawlessly. You can see that bunker with 4 Marines cleaning up like 5 Zealots there. His army cleaned up the Zealots on the left, and that drop in the main is just being a nightmare to deal with. Units lost tab, I was going to say I shudder to look at it. 1,300 resources lost advantage, and Special's up a good 15 to 20 workers for the last minute or so of this game. So he's in the lead. Unless he eats big storms, he should be able to close this out. He's got a 4th command center floating. Extra barracks, so he's going to go 8 barracks. So Special, unforgettable, looking absolutely fantastic right now. Here we go, Zealot, Immortal, High Templar, Stalker coming forward. I don't miss the era of StarCraft. Raw Terrans did was drop every game. You're talking about the old guys like the Wings of Liberty. There was like so many Korean Terrans who basically just made bio and medevacs and just spammed multi-drops. Right? There was like, yeah, that was definitely a fun moment in StarCraft history. We still have a lot of drops these days, but there's a little bit more behind it. Dude, these Zealots are getting shredded in the main. The 3rd base probes are in the open. Oh no, Gerald taking Widowmine hits on his Immortals and Disruptors. That Disruptor goes down, and Special, if he can get out, that would be good. He does get stormed, but the medevac, one of them does escape. The bio in the main, though, is just shredding. Prism goes down. Stalk is getting focus fired because Stalkers are such high-value targets, and those medevacs are going to have to pick up and pull away. Redrop into the 3rd base for Special as he goes 3-3. Cloak for the Ghost. 4 SCVs building at a time. He's already on 82 workers. Special has always had a habit in StarCraft, guys, where Special's best style has always been chaotic harassment and greedy mass expanding behind it. And he does sometimes overbuild workers a little bit, but I think as long as he stops workers here, he should be fine. If that's his last worker, I think it's all right. His main base almost completely mined out. Natural almost completely mined out. So I think floating the main to a 5th base and then take extra gases here is actually a very valid way for him to keep his money going. It's either that or throw a few more command centers down. But he's up a good 25, 30 army supply. He's looking really good. He does eat a storm on that 3rd. There's another one there. Remember, energy recharge does exist. Now the storm could go down and ruin this army. Geralt not looking for a while, but there we go. The storm goes down, and that medevac should be falling momentarily, especially with the Colossus there as well. Marauders actually got a few more units there. The High Templar and the Stalker did go down. Disruptor's still trying to build. Geralt is, of course, on his last legs right now. He forgot to bring his elixirs to this battle, and Special is just doing so much damage. You can see the drop queuing up there on the right side. Decent army in the mid. Special's very chaotic in his playstyle, man. I haven't seen Special play in a while. I forgot how fun and crazy his games can get. Oh. EMP landing. Rocks do go down. Double drop going in behind the 3rd base. Let's go, 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 go. Stalker's warping as well as High Templar coming in. You can always use that energy recharge in about 2 seconds. Energy recharge plus storm here would be amazing. And that's a really nice drop defense. I think Special experiencing probably his first games on the new patch. And I guarantee you he's going to have some choice words about energy recharge storms, guys. I guarantee you one of the most famous, infamous, I should say, balance whiners in all of StarCraft history, especially when it comes to Protoss. Special's thoughts on... we have to do an interview with him after this series just to hear him screeching into his microphone and whining. That's going to be fun. Even this game, I guarantee you, he's like, this is so bullshit, man. Stupid Protoss players. You know, that's... every time I've ever got Special to do an interview after a series, win or lose, he's always got something to say about a Protoss player and their intelligence level. Stalker's going down, blinking forward, taking out the medevacs. Colossus roasting. Geralt just doesn't have the numbers nor the upgrades. 1-2 up against 2-2. Archon Stalker there. The Archon gets pushed into the Widow Mine. Oh, man. That Archon just got bullied by those Stalkers, dude. That was a hazing ritual, that was. This was like, what was that movie? Was it Dazed and Confused? With young Matthew McConaughey being a creeper? Was that the one? Thing I like about high school girls is every year I get older and they stay the same age. You know, you're just like, oh my god. That was filled with some bizarre hazing rituals. I was like, is this real? And That was a funny movie. I'd never seen that. I'd always heard about it, and then I watched it a few years ago on a plane. But yeah, that Archon basically was the guy who just gets the bunch of seniors or whatever hop out of their van with baseball bats and give him a good old beating, you know. Zealots are going to come forward. Zealots in the top left as well. Ghost coming forward. Colossus there. Watch out for the EMPs. The High Templar somehow does not get EMP'd. Lands a juicy storm on the army. Special struggling to finish Geralt off. Geralt is just trying to hold on right now, but there is so much Terran. 3-3s done against 1-2 upgrades for Protoss. Ooh, Vikings coming forward as well. Feedback on the medevac. Marines and Marauders. Vikings coming in. Colossus Zealot getting gunned down. And there is just too much Terran on the dance floor, as our good old friend Maynard would have said in yesteryear. That's an overwhelming fight. Special just playing his classic style that he's always loved. Mass expand while attacking non-stop. Be in your opponent's face from start to finish. It's a high risk, high reward style, some would say. Like, if your opponent starts to slip up and falls behind, it's so hard to catch up against Special, because he will not stop attacking and expanding at the same time. Once he gets that economic edge, if you can't find the counterattack timing after like shutting down a drop or something, he just runs away with the game. All right, guys, going into this one, Geralt actually just missed a little bit of production time on his chrono boost there because he was trying to get his gateway up very early. And Special, that's Envision, mate. Special. Oh my god, this Reaper ledge is big. Guys, is that gateway walling off that jump path? I think it is. I think it is. And he's gonna, of course, send 2 probes out if he gets this kill. Special. Oh no. Special up 2-1 in this series, but he's got to cancel his second barracks of the series. And that is a very bad start. Now, Geralt won the game last time it started like this. I once again would say, guys, go Nexus before Cybercore, because you know he's going to wall off on the high ground. Don't get me wrong, the Stalkers did damage last game, and it was okay. But I truly think if you go Nexus straight away, that's the better play there. I could be wrong. You guys tell me what you think, but I really think going straight Nexus, such a good way to take advantage. When you cancel someone's barracks, you know, just take the economy advantage as far as you possibly can, and you'd be surprised how well you take it. Second pylon's a bit late, so did lose a little bit of production time in that main, and trying to trap that SCV. Does cancel the engineering bay and manages to take that out. You can see no engineering bay here, but you still lose 25% of the mineral cost because you did have to cancel it. People are talking about proxy Nexus. Yeah, the recall, the Nexus inside the main base to recall 2 adepts, and while distracting with the adepts, he rallied a probe into the corner of the Terran's main, built a pylon, made DTs, and won the game with the DTs. Possibly one of the funniest builds I've ever seen in my entire life. If you guys want to see that in the history of offensive Nexus being used with recall rushes in pro play, I actually did a video about this about a year ago. If anyone can find that, link it up in the Twitch chat for me. It's we talked about like Florencio was the first time I saw someone doing it, but then we actually saw Estrella beat Trap with it in a world championship. We saw, like, you know, obviously that SOS game. There's like 1 or 2 other really funny examples. It's really cool. Okay, Special might just be screwed, guys. He needs to pull like 5 SCVs and basically just rotate back the weak ones. He's waited a bit long. He's going to pull back the weak one. Special, going to pull back. Oh, he's going to repair. Oh, 3 SCVs repair the one that's taking damage from the Stalker. But look, Geralt changed targets. But the Marauder comes out. Dude, that was actually clutch. Oh, repair. He's going to save. He saves it. Dude, he saves it. Really nicely done. You can see Geralt's trying to dance, let the Zealot distract. So if the Zealot tanks a Marauder shot, the Stalker can hit the Marauder and run away. But very hard to actually pull off in actuality. And fantastic defense there. Doesn't beat Scarlet taking the probe, building an Nexus to recall her Broodlords across the map. That is still, yes. That was actually, so I love that she didn't want to send me that replay. She sent me a screenshot, and then she goes, look at this funny shit I pulled off. And I'm like, that's amazing, send me that replay. She's like, this is a garbage game. You're not allowed to cut. Like, this is dumb. And it's like one of the best YouTube videos I've had in the last year. I like had to convince her to send me the replay. I'm like, trust me, people want to see this. I want to see this. I don't just want to see the screenshot. Like, she's like, this is just dumb. This is dumb. I'm like, you don't understand, Scarlet. The normies, we want to see this stuff. Like, we want to see the stuff that you think is dumb. Like, all right, guys. As the dust settles here, The Adepts and Stalkers pulling back. Marauder's fighting pretty well against it, but Special's going to lose one. Oh, you gotta just stay back. Just stay back, bro. Problem is, if Geralt does this shade and distracts, that could be huge. Not only that, Oracle's coming in. Cyclone's not ready. Nothing shoots up in this base. Third command center tries to go down. This Oracle is going to do so much damage, man. And Special just proxy barracksing too far forward. Going for Marauders there. And the Oracle behind Stalker pressure was actually a genius follow-up. Geralt catches him out and punishes Special for going way too deep with that barracks. All right, guys. It's 2-2. We're going to go into Side Delta, a bit more familiar territory for both players. Geralt in the bottom right side of the map. Gateway coming up here to wall off the little ledgy ledge. And in the top left, of course, Special hanging out, playing a barracks first. So we can see, it looks like an early chrono coming in for Geralt. And does get himself a few more probes out. He's going to go gate gas. Barracks gas for Special. Special hasn't had a lot of success when he goes across the map early, right? When he goes out there and proxies, that's his 2 losses in this series, is his proxies getting caught. So I think it makes sense in Game 5 not to do it. Actually, you could argue it makes sense to do it even more. Go double proxy Marauder over here, but no. Geralt's always going to scout, so he does scout for it. We do have that second chrono already coming in. 18 out of 21. You got to be careful with that second pylon timing, remember? Especially if you do an early second chrono. Like, when do you build that second depot or so-and-so? You got to be very careful with that. So squeezing the expansion in as early, will interrupt your pro production a little bit. And that's something the players have to be a bit more aware of, right? Like, if you here go up to, 20 or 21 core Nexus, you're going to have to pause your probes for quite a little bit. So you want to go Nexus, then Pylon before queuing up another probe, I believe. Likewise, we're going to go Reactor first for Special. He's going to go for a command center here on the natural. And it's just one Marine after that reactor, or before that reactor, I should say. Probe's going to come in, going to go for a little bit of harass. Marine should be able to take care of it. Oh, he throws the GG down. That probe goes down with style. Very fancy. And we've got that core finish. Do we see an Adept pressure for once? We haven't seen a lot of Adept pressure. We've seen a lot of Stalker pressure. But it feels like for now just a second gas, extra chrono on the probes. And only now building a sentry. Interesting, very defensive opening for Geralt. He says, look, you got to ramp. It's a big map. I know you didn't play Reaper, so we're just going to get the scouting off as quickly as possible. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Depot finally finishing there, allowing more Marines to get started. Factories on the way. And this is fascinating to see where the game goes from here. So I would say, honestly, the early game, negligible speed difference really in my feeling sense from like 9 to 12 workers. I haven't noticed any of these games feel like, oh, this feels slow, this feels boring, right? 6 workers is so different because you got to realize going from 6 to 9, that's plus 50% income. And with the way income grows exponentially, it's like that's such a big difference. Whereas going from 12 down to 9, you're only giving up a quarter of your income, right? 25%. So that's kind of a thing where like 9 workers is way more than 6 and only a bit less than 12. If that makes sense. I know someone's going to shout at me and say, you don't understand how numbers work, pig, you're stupid. But from the perspective, if you look at the comparison from one to another, that is kind of a way to think of it, which is why every worker going 6 to 7, big jump. 7 to 8, still a pretty big jump. 8 to 9 starts to get a little less. 9 to 10, a little less. 10 to 11, a little less. So there's kind of this thing where, changing from 6 to 7 might be as big as changing from 12 down to 9, if that makes sense. But we'll see how we go. Widowmine's coming forward. That's just a given. I mean, people are going to shout at me no matter what I say. Yeah, that's true. That's a good thing, though. I think that's a good thing. Because his 2-gate blink. Dude, Geralt plays so greedy, but he's got such ubiquitous scouting now. Because we've made Protoss scouting so good recently, this is something where we might need to scale back observers building so fast, hallucinations being able to be spammed. If we were to make it a much lower worker count, Protoss might both have the best scouting, but also the best gambles. Like if we go down to 6 workers with the energy recharge, I think Protoss might be completely broken, which would be really interesting. That would be very, very interesting, right? Like, wouldn't that be so fascinating? If it's like, because scouting becomes so powerful. Now, I was talking about making this worker change with a lot of different people. Gumiho said worker change is dumb. People just, not going to do it. They're not going to. A lot of people, I think, maybe don't quite realize all the differences of the worker change because it is such a complex thing. But he was saying actually a decent alternate thing to achieve more build orders working, more gambles working. And he said, Pig, just remove this. Like, there's too much scouting. Like, the overlords are so fast in Legacy. Make the overlords a bit slower. He said, why don't we just do that? Like, make the overlords a bit slower. Make, you know, this a different, like, weaken the scouting tools a little bit. And you're going to have more fun builds and all-ins and different variety. And players will be able to punch up a little bit more against the best players. And I think that does, to some extent, apply. I think it's just very hard. I think that's way harder to do than just changing the worker count. I also think there is a pacing change where lowering the workers is just so much better for your average Joe players. I give that example of Empire Wars and Age of Empires. This Banshee, dude, good micro. I thought that was going to die way faster. You got 4 probes. I thought Gerald was super prepared, but he manages to get 4 probes. Well done, Special. So, in Empire Wars, it's so fast. Like, Empire Wars is like if we started on 20 probes and with our natural finished and 3 gateways and a robo each. Right? That's like what Empire Wars equivalents would be. And so that's an extreme example, but that's something casual players really mostly don't like to play in Age of Empires because it is too fast and crazy, but it's so fun to watch pros play on it. Dude, Gerald with the force field delay on the push. He blinks in and takes out a tank as well. Does lose the Observer and a Stalker, but the Sentry survives. He's going to come forward. Oh, he doesn't get the force fields down. The Zealot's going to try and kill those Marines, though. Does lose a Stalker. Gerald trying to buy time right now. If he can get up 8-gate charge, he wins. But right now, that Twilight is a long way from charge. But the Stalker's buying so much time, taking out all the SCVs. This is massive. Ooh. The Stalker's trying to pull back right now. Here we go. Gotta pull back, gotta pull back. Oh, another Stalker goes down. It's a lot of damage, guys. Special does have a 3rd command center almost finished. He should probably pull back. Special's committing too deep, which means I think at this point he can't leave. At this point, he's just got to try and trade this out as best he can. There's no way he kills this Nexus, in my opinion. But wait, Gerald's screwing up. What's this? Oh, a Banshee gets in his backdoor, distracts him. And Gerald making a big doo-doo, loses a lot of probes. He's going to lose the Nexus now. He's giving up on it. I can't believe it. Stalker's finally clean up in the main base. He does get a few units on the backside. That tank trying to escape, but I don't think it's going to get out of there. This is actually massive for Special in Game 5. I keep saying, I'm very surprised that Geralt keeps just rushing a 3rd base. That's such a good thing to do in the 12-worker start, but like it naturally should be, in my opinion, the last thing you think of doing, because tech quickly is so much more impactful with a lower worker start. We've got to get in there and realize that fact, and I think Geralt's making this really hard for himself, but we're seeing that Geralt is a guy who loves the kind of macro heavy, is super adapted to that. These players don't have a lot of experience on this. They're figuring things out as they go. And as I expected, I do think Special style is causing some big problems because even though he loses this army, it's done enough damage. Like, it's done so much damage. He's got Stim, +1, coming in. Doesn't need to get shields. Oh, he's already got shields finished. He's got a big pack of bio and medevacs. 3rd command center's finished. I mean, he's up 14 workers. I think he's in such a good spot. This Banshee's still alive. Dude, he's been using his Banshees really well. If he gets that High Templar, Geralt's leading this. Oh my god. He does like a feedback that does 2 damage to the Banshee. The Banshee lasts at it. That's going to be crazy. Ooh, here we go. Stalkers and Zealots coming forward. Zombie Grub being a hater in the chat. She says, yeah, that's not going to fix the StarCraft 2 is hard for newbies thing. That existed in 2010 when keeping minerals below 1,000 minerals is a pro move. Oh, I don't think anything's going to make any RTS good for newbies, right? Like all these new RTSs, they're like, oh, we're going to make macro easy. We're going to automate this. When you're talking about your grandma's never going to play RTS. Just give up. Give up, real-time strategy developers. Stop trying. Give up. I'm with you on that, Zombie Grub. But what about the people who are, by most gamers' standards, hardcore, but compared to several average gamers, right? What about those gamers? Because I do think the pacing for me frustrates the shit out of me when I play 12 worker a lot of the time. Because it does feel a bit overwhelming, and I definitely know from coaching a lot of players that a lot of people just macro and play vibes, old Monster GM, and don't do much else. We can talk about that in a bit, because the double drop's in the main. Special just needs to defend this attack, and he's got this in the bag, guys. The SCVs are there. The Marines and Marauders are going to pull away. The Zealots and the Stalkers and the High Templar are trying to hang out. The Marauders need to stutter step. Good stutter steps there. Trying to clean up these Zealots. The drop in the back doing so much damage. The Marauders in the choke points and the medevacs healing are just shredding the Zealots and the probes. That's it. That is it. Very, very nice. Oh, the Stalkers are going to go down as well. High Templar drops a Stormy Storm. Marine Marauder hanging out. And that Prism there, not really able to do anything. Are we going to power the gateways? No. It's... Yeah, Geralt just got overwhelmed. And I think rushing that 3rd base is a bit more high risk naturally, yeah, just because of the slower pace, like you can see Special's pushes, even when Geralt's doing like a 2 or 3 gas heavy charge style, it's so hard to defend against these sorts of pushes. And I do think, you know, earlier tech is obviously such a big thing. The lower you make the worker count, the stronger early tech is, to the point of it being frustrating in the past, which is a part of why we have changed it and removed it over time. Yeah. Marines, Marauders come in. Storm does land there as well. Marines in the mineral line trying to hang out. Stalker's getting gunned down. Widowmine's doing some nice burrows. Good splash damage. Takes out the observers. Special just swarming over the top, looking fantastic. Honestly, this series looked pretty balanced as far as I can tell. Just felt like Special committed super hard to aggression. And it did feel like Geralt was playing a bit more default, a bit more greedy. And let's benchmark. When did that push hit, by the way? Because you'd think, like, should be quite a bit later. You've opened Banshees into a big 2-base push. But this is like a non-stim push. Non-stim push hitting at, like, close to, what, 7 minutes? I guess because he got very delayed by the Stalkers and the Force Fields. Could have hit a bit earlier. But yeah, just after 7 minutes. It's still a pretty decent timing there. So you can see 9 worker to 12 worker, we're really not slowing the game down that drastically. It is definitely slower by, what, a minute and a half? Maybe this would hit 5:36 minutes, I think, in 12 workers. What do you guys think? I think this would hit only about a minute earlier. Wouldn't be too big of a drastic change. Yeah, interesting to see. Overall, this feels very similar to 12 workers. I really want to test 8 and then maybe 6 and 7 workers to see the differences. Because I think you're going to see... I don't think we felt any of the slow boringness that everyone was talking about and with 9 workers here. I actually thought, personally, I would see a bit more slow boringness in the early game. But I know with 6 workers, it definitely has more of that slow boringness in the early game problem, which is really interesting. Either way, GG, well played by Special, guys. Gets the $40 prize. Geralt only gets $35. What a loser. Just kidding, of course. Showing a bunch of love. Thanks to these guys for hopping on, and they clearly don't have any experience playing with these supply counts, these worker starting counts, but I think they adapted really well and showed us some really nice games. So GG, well played to both.